Mr. Queen Street Penis, queen of all the Mr. Queen Street Penis, Mr. Queen Penis, queen of all the penis.
Hey, what the fuck? Just watch. Smoke that.
This makes you happy? Hmm?
How do you feel?
Than voice. Sorry about that. What is up, Dawn, and whoever is watching back the VOD? Oh my god, no, hold on. There is someone here. Hallucinatory CG, welcome. Hello. I like your profile picture. And Sol, okay, we're all coming in. Everyone's coming in now. That's a little bit more reassuring. What is up, everyone? How are we doing? Okay. You probably just heard my dog bark. It's gonna be a lot of that. So, there he is again. There he is again. There he is again. There he is again. So, wow, he's gonna drive me mad. I had something. Why is my camera off? This is so unprofessional. This is post-celebratory of a video doing wonders. And you would be surprised that I have a well-doing YouTube channel. Oh, it's not well-doing. It's all right. A few things. First of all, overnight we reached 3,000 subscribers. I don't have a soundboard, but the button I would be pressing is this. Would be that button. Second of all, in the last, I want to say 2 or 3 hours, the video has reached 50k views. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. 50k views was my goal. I wanted it to reach 50k views. For anyone new in the chat, I'm looking at you, Hallucinatory. What's up? How you doing? Welcome to Gruwidge. So I have had this video in development for 4 months. I want to say 4 months. I want to say I was developing for 4 months. And if you know my upload schedule, that sounds about right. But I don't know how people do monthly uploads. I don't get it. Or weekly. Music cut out for a second. Or weekly. So, thank you guys for the W's. Thank you for the congratulations. So, I've thought about this video for a while. I've had it cooking for a while. And the reason it took so long to get out, I won't show you, but the reason it took so long to get out was because... I actually have it right here. Sorry, a bit of a mess. Was because of this. I spent months, the second I finished that digital circus video, all of my efforts went into studying animation history. I got a book about Australian animation history. You guys might be familiar with the 3 shorts I made about Aussie animation, which I'm probably never going to do again because they took a lot of time to make, and I mean, they were easy to make, but they didn't do very well. I like them a lot, but yeah. Oh. Computer really is running a potato. But I spent months just researching stuff like that, as well as I bought a book that I just showed you about the development of Adventure Time, because I was planning to make a sequel video on my Adventure Time pilots video, like a semi-sequel, semi-spiritual successor, or just successor. But I found out that I had way too much to say about each show I was planning to talk about. I'll tell you guys right now, I was going to talk about the 4 Cartoon Network Renaissance shows. Adventure Time, regular show, Gumball, and Steven Universe. That was what I was going to talk about. And the amount I wrote for each was worth a video each. So I was doing a lot of writing. And I also had to binge watch all those shows again. Some of them for the first time. I never finished a show before. I had never finished Gumball before. And those were also the shows that I had the most to write about and were most interested in. Adventure Time was way too daunting. I did a lot of research into it, but my god, so much. Steven Universe I didn't even bother because there's just so much to talk about with Steven Universe. But specifically the Gumball and Adventure Time script, I just got into it, and I found a new love for those shows. And I do have a lot to say, and maybe in the future you will see a changed version of those scripts. I think I might just make a retrospective on regular show and a retrospective on Gumball, maybe. But now, I think I was looking at that video. Yeah, that's right. I was working on that video, and then episode 7 of Digital Circus came out, and I felt instantly compelled to make a video on it. I made it in a week. And it's my best performing video since the pilot video. I think I made it in 2 weeks. About a week, 2 weeks. Because it took me like 2 or 3 days to write, and then from that, just edited it. That's the fastest I'd ever turned out a video. Maybe. Since the pilot video and the Steven Universe video before that. But then, after I finished after I uploaded that, would there be a segment for Gumball's best episode, The Trader? Maybe. I don't want to spoil it. But after that, I just went back into working on that video. And then I took a break from that, and I was semi-working on those shorts. And I just wasn't sure what to do. And at that time, episode 8? What just came out? No! What was the one with Jax? Where reality sets in. That video I made. That was... Let's see. Let's count them. We have the pilot. We have the Outback one with Gummy Goo. We have King's episode. We have the fast food episode. We have baseball episode 6. It was episode 6 that came out. Then episode 7 came out. And episode 7, I kept saying, like, people, after the video did so well, I kept seeing people on the comments being like, when are you going to make one for 7? Are you going to make one for 7? When's 7? Are you going to do 7 one? And I was like, I don't know. This did really well. I really should do one on 7, but I wasn't sure what I would even write about. And then I started getting really frustrated because every video and theory I was seeing about it seemed like the most, like, oh my god, what are they talking about? Just the most, like, you are missing the mountain for the trees, or whatever the hell the saying is. You're not hitting mountains, you're not hitting trees, you're shooting up into the air and hitting nothing. Like, it was the most frustrating experience. And I was on FD Skyne, I believe his name is, his Discord server, and I saw a lot more mature conversations being happening, like, every now and then. And there was one comment where I'm like, oh my god, that's a reading. Because I was really frustrated when I was making that episode 6 video. I was really frustrated that I hadn't seen enough readings. That I was only seeing theories and breakdowns of episodes. Not like, what does this episode mean? What are they trying to convey? What are they using? What skills are they using? I was seeing, I think, a handful of, like, how is this made? Which is always great and interesting. I love that. But I wasn't seeing enough, like, looking into the narrative and looking into, like it was just theory videos. And it sucked because I wanted to watch videos that broke down the narrative, because I think Digital Circus is a very mature show, and people really utilize it and really underappreciate. What's the term? They don't realize what they have. They have gold, and they don't know that. They have platinum. And it is rich, not just for theories, but for like readings and discussions. What is up? I'm gonna butcher this. Senor Wheat Legs. What's up? With your opinion on fan theories getting in the way of narrative, what's your opinion on the everyone's a digital clone theory? I think that theory has a lot of weight to it. And also because narratively, it works with what Goose has said. So there isn't necessarily a lot of hard proof in the show, but in theory, narratively, I think it's an ending or it's an idea that's like, yeah, there's weight to it. And it doesn't not make sense. There's a lot of stuff that like, yeah, it would fit in with the idea of you can't escape the circus. I'm a sucker for clones, and I'm a sucker for the idea of like, am I a real person? And I think the show is about, you know, the line everyone says, finding a meaning in a meaningless life, or that's a very, very bad interpretation of what Goose said, but finding meaning in a stagnant life. That was it. And I think a great way to develop that is to show, you know, there is no escape. Not only that, you're not really the person you thought, and you're a copy of the person you thought. And that kind of answers like, well, is that worth living? Is that life worth living? Yes, it is worth living. And I think that is a good way to end the show off, if it's these characters realizing that even if they're a copy, even if they're quote-unquote just AI, like Gummy Goo is a great example of showing an AI, an augmented person who could feel and think and grief and had a soul. Like Gummy Goo thought. He died. Caine killed him. And it kind of builds on that narrative of like Gummy Goo was a person. Yeah, sure, he was an NPC, but also he was a person. Like he was a living being, really. And I think to end the series on the idea of like, yeah, these characters are no different from Gummy Goo, I think adds to the narrative. In saying that, I did get a very interesting comment that kind of was someone critiquing that theory that said there's not really a lot of hard evidence for it. Why is there no humans in the final like shot of episode of the pilot? Because they didn't want to render a realistic human being stuck there. Because they wanted that iconic shot of outside the camera of the PC, which is fair, yeah. They can't render that. But also, they could have worked that into the narrative. It's true, it could be like I mentioned before of, I mentioned in my previous video, episode 6, I mentioned, what's it called? With music, diegetic and non-diegetic. You see, it could be just like a non-diegetic thing that's just there for the audience to show like they're stuck. They're alone and they're not getting out. And not necessarily meant to imply that there is no, like, their minds aren't there. Because yeah, even though it seems a little too far fantasy sci-fi, it is entirely possible that their bodies were sucked into the computer too. It's possible. Way more fantastical, but it's not impossible. For the tone we've seen in the show. And there was a few other pieces of evidence they gave that just is like, there is no hard evidence of that fact. And also, I can't remember what else they said, but it was one of the things that made me go, yeah, that's true. Like, at the end of the day, the quote-unquote Soma theory is just a theory. Just a theory. In the literal sense of like, oh yeah, this is a theory that has a lot of weight to it and would make sense and narratively be pretty good. But it's not canon. There is no confirmation that it is canon, and it might not be canon. In fact, there's a lot of evidence that it probably isn't canon, and that's fine. But the Soma theory, as it's dubbed, I quite enjoy, and it's not really the type of theories that I made in the video. In the video, I'm talking about theories that feel just like, almost like completely isolated to that episode. Of people just jumping the gun and not even considering what we've seen before. The whole reason why the Soma theory is so compelling is that there is a lot of stuff that works in favor of it. And narratively, it feels quite complete. Where if it was just like, oh, and at the end they all escape and they're in tubes and test tubes, that feels way too out of like, what the hell's going on? Way too out there. But something like the Soma theory is a bit more believable. And I think people have found ways to make it work even more every time an episode comes out. They've been like, okay, this doesn't disprove anything. This kind of adds to it thematically, like I mentioned with Gummy Goo and the AI. A lot of this thematically, like, Caine is an AI, but also Caine thinks and feels the same way they do. So who's to say Caine isn't a person in some way? And then you can argue, are they people? So yeah. I think I really like that theory. but I don't necessarily think it's canon, but I really like it. But anyway, as I was saying, the second episode 7 dropped. I just saw all those theories, and these are theories that I thought were just cash grabs. Like, the video originally was much more going into my issue with theory videos, but in the edit of the actual, in editing the video, like in DaVinci, because I use DaVinci, because fuck Premiere, in the edit of DaVinci, I kind of cut my words around and moved it, because I'm like, A, this doesn't feel right to just shit on other creators. It feels mean. And B, it's not just videos. It's posts, it's tweets, it's Reddit threads, it's a bunch of stuff. Like, it's not isolated to just content creators. It is people who engage with it. And I realized, as I was like having the frustrations, I was sitting there like, oh, this is so annoying. I was like, this is a video. I was like, it clicked. I'm like, there's the video. There it is right there. People not taking, like, I knew there was something with the idea of theories in that episode. And the fact that everyone was just like, nope, we're ignoring this. We're ignoring the evidence we've been given and actually just saying out other stuff. It was enough for me to go like, yeah, I have something to say. I have an opinion about this that I want to break down. This video was a lot less satisfying to write than the episode 6 video. Because the episode 6 video for me felt like just a rush. It was just a rush. It was a fever dream. I vomited out that script in like a day. I don't know how I did it. But I'm a big fan of like analyzing animation and visuals to portray a message. I studied to be a storyboard artist for the longest time, and I'm not one, as you can tell. But that's a really big, like, I love visual storytelling. I love it so much. That's why I'm a comic book fan as well. And so that video to me, like, just came off the tongue, like, instantly. It was the dust. It was the dust that I noticed, and I saw no one bring up. And I was like, someone has to bring this up. Someone has to bring this up. And then I found other things, like the water tank with Kinga, and the realistic light reflections off of Zooble, and it all just came to me, and I was like, oh, there's a video there. And I instantly splurged it out. I stopped what I was doing. And when I was doing this script, it was not that. This script, Lemon, who, if anyone's familiar with the streams, you'll know Lemon. Lemon is a mod on the channel. Lemon is someone who also has in the past read over people's novels and books, and is like an editor and like a, I would consider them a somewhat co-writer, because they definitely help me get my words out on the page. It's all my words, I'm all writing it, but I bounce off them, and I'm like, does this make sense? And they're like, it's worded a little weirdly. Okay, like, I'll go back. They've helped, this channel doesn't exist without Lemon. I had to constantly run it by Lemon, and Lemon gave almost no notes in the script. And that's fair. Personally, I can't say I'm a believer, but your thoughts and the theory fitting into the whole Stand Life thing definitely makes sense. Yeah, see, like, but I can definitely understand why someone like wouldn't believe the theory. But yeah, Lemon is a massive reason why this channel is where it is. And they just kept, I kept sending them in. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna edit it. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? And at the beginning, the video, I'm gonna show the script later. Actually, you know what? I'll just show the script now. So there were 2 versions of this script. Oh, come on. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Oh my god, give me a fucking scare. This is why I hate the RAM shortage. I'm gonna let you guys, a few of you know about this. I have 8 gigabytes of RAM on my PC. This is the PC I write on. This is the PC I edit on. This is the PC I stream on. I have 2 Chrome tabs open, and it's making my PC want to kill itself. I thought about opening DaVinci and showing you guys the edit itself and like what I did to do it. I can't do that. My PC will blow up. There is no way there is no feasible way that I can do that and stream at the same time. My PC will not let it. But anyway, let me show you guys the first draft. Close Elgato. Open window capture. Window capture if you want to work. If you want to work. Window capture if you want to work. Huh? What? It's working? It's not working? Window capture? Bro, what are you doing? There we go. There we go. Okay. So. Okay, actually, I have to have chat open on my phone because I only have one screen. This is why I also need videos to get out, because I need to buy resources for this computer. I don't know how I'm making this channel work, because my god, it is a mess. No, not Bluetooth. Put the speaker off. No, I don't want to connect on a Bluetooth speaker. That's exactly the opposite of what I'm doing. There we go. Oh, what's up? I am Danny North. Let me just have my phone up here. I'm very curious. I'm really curious if you would think of my theories in the same light as the other ones you talk about. Hey, my main issue when it comes to theories is just that I love theories. I really love theories. I just I really crave for theories where people are, you know, considering all aspects of the show. And my main issue is really just theories where people are trying to beat the narrative. And I'm sure if you watched my video and you heard me, I'd gladly listen to your theory. But yeah, you've got a theory, like, shoot me up with it. Like, hit it in the chat. I'll read it out. I'd like to hear your take. But anyway, I always think it's interesting when YouTubers show their script and how they work. So that's the reason why I'm doing this stream to begin with is because I knew if there was a YouTuber I watched, even as a creator, I find it fascinating. If there's a YouTuber I watch, I would love to see how they figure out how to write and like how they write their scripts. And basically, in 2023, when I first started this channel, I used to have a big Google Doc. I'm not going to open my docs because I have other scripts and stuff and personal stuff in there, but I had a big Google Doc that was all of my video ideas. It was all a bunch of notes and spec scripts, and I would write one script and be like, and I'd move on to the other script. And that worked for the longest time, but I also realized it was too long of a Google Docs page, and it started getting really annoying. So it started to affect my writing because I got confused about what was a draft and what wasn't a draft. So I just fully moved to just having one Google Doc per video. I also have my own private Discord channel that I've been using for notes for like 5 years. And I have a little channel in there for my videos, but I'll just like, if I'm out in public, if I'm out on the stroll for a walk, if I'm out having a bite and I have an idea, I'll quickly jot it down on my private Discord server. And then I'll be able to look back and like type in stuff to find it. And all of that eventually gets put into a Google Doc. And how I usually write is I will write notes, just notes and notes and notes, dot point, just to word vomit how I feel out. And then from that, I will try to mash it into a script. And the funny thing about an essay script for me is my essay started to get better once I actively remembered what they taught me in high school for essays, which is I need to show an example of my thought process. Like, I need a thesis A, B, I need examples to show my thesis in action, and I need a kind of a proper conclusion to wrap everything together. There is a fly or something in here. And I actually, last year, I just ripped one of the most important pieces of papers in my office. Last year, I found out that I still had a Skillshare. I think it was Skillshare. I still had a Skillshare subscription that was taking $200 from my bank account every year that I didn't know about. Very stupid of me that I didn't know about that. But I was like, oh god, now I have a full year. What am I going to do with that? And I'm like, well, I canceled it, but I paid the year off. So I'm like, well, I might as well look to see what I can find. I found I found a series going over how to write essays. And that video massively impact how I write video essays now. Ever since, what was my last video before that? I made a lot of Superman videos. Those Superman videos, I think, were in the middle of when I found that essay. No, it's just after. It was just after. And ever since the Superman and the Mole Man video, I think, post that, I've always thought about these essays in this way. So it was 4 dot points that the person said. This stuck with me so much. It's why you're making an essay. What's your point of the essay? And there's 4 reasons why anyone makes an essay. It's to increase awareness of something. It's a call to action for people to do something. It's to transform people's perceptions, or it's to inspire more stories and inspire people to do stuff. And so whenever I'm writing a video, I'll have this on my PC right here, and I'll be writing and I'll look and I'm like, okay, what am I calling to action? Am I trying to increase awareness of something? Am I trying to change how people think about something? And with episode 6, I was trying to transform people's perspective. I was going, look, there's dust here. People have not considered that. Well, I've seen a lot of people say that Jax was about to, well, not glitch, what's it called? Jax was about to abstract in the bathroom, and I thought, no, I think that's a panic attack. I think that's something more real than that. So I was transforming perceptions, transforming perceptions, and I was showing people, like, how I interpreted the story. And the episode 7 video was more of me doing a call to action / inspire more stories. You know, this is also, a lot of these have crossover. Like, call to action and inspire more stories are very similar in that aspect, as well as increase awareness and transform perceptions. And the most recent video, that one, God, do I have 2 pieces of glue back here? No. That most recent video was me basically saying people, hey, please, you know, you don't need to just do theory crafting when we're talking about digital circus. And if you are doing theory crafting, I think there's more here that you're missing. You know, there's a lot of theories, there's a lot of readings. If you love theories, you probably like readings too. And they're not that dissimilar. And I think there are a lot of people who are saying my episode 6 theory was really good. And it's like, no, this is not a theory, this is a reading. And I think a lot of people would love some readings. And basically me going like, hey, you guys should consider doing readings. If you have a YouTube video that you want to make that YouTube video. If you want to see other people talk like this, you can talk like that. If you already talk like that, you can put that out in the world, and then you will inspire someone else to do. It's the idea of, you know, like doing good, or like you do something good for one person, another person will do that, and then you inspire another person to do good, which will inspire another person to do good. So that was the idea I basically wanted in this video. Oh, here's the theory. I believe I know exactly why Jax is afraid of porn, and I show all the connections in to prove it. Oh, sick! I think there was one theory. Is it about abstractions? Because I saw someone say it's the like an abstracted person looks very similar to a piece of corn, and the hundreds of eyes are very similar to corn kernels. Again, really great theory. That also leans into like a reading of his character as well, of like implication. That's an example again of a theory I really favor. I really like, because it's like, oh, that's interesting, looking into Jax's psychology in a way that's like, yeah, that would make sense. Or for all we know, Ribbit, that we know he was close to, Ribbit abstracted. Kaufmo, which we now know he seems to be somewhat close to, Kaufmo abstracted. So he definitely has some form of trauma around abstraction, which could manifest in hating corn. But yeah, so here's my first notes. So I did 2 drafts of this. I did the first draft, which I think is kind of shit. It's not that dissimilar from the second draft. I've heard. I also had friend of the channel Peach and Zongoliath look over this. He's that theory I really liked. I was wondering where I put it. I had them look over, and I'm like, look, I think I have stuff here, but I'm not sure where to put it. I had just word vomit and word. Look, there's paragraphs here. Sometimes I will write a paragraph separate from the essay, and then I'll find a way to slip it into the essay. And I had I had Peach say that you're going to bed soon, but if you react to it on stream, you can be totally honest. I will join as a member. Oh, hell yeah! Oh, you made a video. Oh, I'll definitely check that video out. I'll have to check it out. I'll see if I have time. But I'll definitely be checking it out. I'll definitely watch it. But yeah, what was I saying? Right, so a lot of my videos start out as just like complete word vomits. So this video started out, Peach, God, I can't think. Peach read over the script originally and thought it was a little too mean. I was a little too mean to people, a little bit too like, people might hate this, but I don't think I was. Maybe a few places I was being pretty blunt. And then I wrote another version of the script, which I broke down into chapters, which made it a little easier for me to write. Also, I picked up this trick a while ago that said that if you're writing in Comic Sans, it's a lot easier to write. And I don't know how anyone else feels about that, but I have found it actively does make it easier for me to write in Comic Sans. I don't know why. I don't know what that is. Why that is. Oh my god, thank you so much, Danny. It is about extraction, but I actually haven't heard about the mini eye thing. Even that is less granted than my video. Interesting. Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much, Danny. That's so kind. Okay, so what was it about? Right. The video we originally got way more concise. There is some stuff here that's cut. This orange, so I will highlight a paragraph or a few words that I'm unsure about, and I'm like basically me going like, should I cut this? I might cut this, or I might rewrite this just to remind me, so I'll look back on it. I have different colors correlated to different things. I can't remember what it is, but I'll go back and we'll look at my notes first because I haven't seen this in months. Because I stopped writing this in December. Yeah, December. Like the video came out in December. I finished. I think it spent like a week or two on this script, and I finished writing it Christmas Eve, I want to say. Let's see. I was at the beginning. I remember when Game Theory was a channel that was known for guessing game characters, cup size, and saying Mario was a secret commie. I was there when Game Theory changed how people interact with media. When FNAF happened, since then there are a lot of stuff popular with teens that get absolutely taken over by theories and Easter eggs. What if this means this? What if this is actually this? People start treating it like gospel and running around spreading it like it's canon. But I don't mind that stuff as much as this. I am very bothered with how a majority of the discussions around the shows like The Amazing Digital Circus are all theory-based. Well, what if this leads to this? Guys, this is def happening next step. Look, here's proof. Well, if you look at I have no math and I'm a screen, obviously what's going on is this. It takes up the entire conversation when it comes to the show. No one does actual readings. No one sits and thinks, what is this episode trying to say? What is this show about? And not in a, what is this show really about? Literally, I mean, what are the themes and ideas expressed in the show? What is the final message the show is telling us? Sure, breaking down visuals and story beats, but not in a way trying to predict the future, but trying to make sense of a world around us and what we engage with. Episode 7 of Digital Circus felt like the series going, all these theories, all these ideas about where the show could go, doesn't matter. None of this matters. So that was my notes. That's basically, I'm like, this is the thesis of the essay. This is what I want to talk about. This is what I want to say. And then from that, I wrote a spec script. I should have included spoilers from episode 1 to 7 in the video. I forgot to do that. But this is basically the spec script. And the original title of it was, I think the first title was literally Theory on Top of Theories, which is the thumbnail title. Oh my god, Atlas, dude, I haven't heard about you I haven't seen you in forever, dude. Every now and then you'll like one of my posts on Twitter. What's up? Gruwidge popping off hard with the new uploads. Let's go. Dude, thank you so much. That's so kind. Thanks for your thought on script writing. I'm going to sleep now, but if you react and post VOD, I'll love to see your reaction. But otherwise, you can find my socials on the video. Send me a message. Hell yeah, dude. Thank you so much, Danny. But yeah, what was I talking about? Right, so that's how I basically wrote a thesis. And I knew the second I came up with the idea for the video, it was going to be theories on top of theories because of this idea of, like, you are suffocating. Like, the amount of theories we're all getting, which it is suffocating us. It's absolutely suffocating us. It's like a pile of theories. And I knew I liked that title. I knew I needed to put it somewhere. I know it probably wouldn't be the literal title of the video, but I knew I wanted to put it maybe in the thumbnail. Maybe it would be the title of the video. I'll show you also later the other ideas I had, which some of the ideas were very blunt, but that was also because I just needed brainstorming some ideas out there. Okay, so the original script, media literacy in Digital Circus, why make a video? Oh, that's right. God, it's been months since I wrote my last script, so I haven't done this in a while. I will start a script writing thing just to talk to myself about, like, the thesis. Why is this video being made? What's the point of this video? I want to encourage people to expand their literary skills and not limit themselves to just theories. That is very important to me whenever I write a video. I have a very big bit of anxiety about whether my videos matter, whether I'm just spewing another random video that's just like, here's my opinion on this, which is opinion maybe 1,000 people have. Is this an original idea? I had a lot of anxiety when I made this video. Oh, it was just your birthday, dude. Happy birthday. If you got a blue sky recently, it'd be great to keep in touch. Oh, I do have a blue sky. It's Gruwidge. It's Gruwidge at blue sky. But yeah, dude, oh my god, happy birthday. I love the emoticons. They're really cute. But yeah, I had this big anxiety about like, oh, am I actually saying nothing? Like, I haven't watched as much theory videos, so I thought like, it's just nothing I'm complaining about as well. Like, after I finished, as I was working on this video, you know, Digital Circus is such a like viral based series when it comes to the videos. Like a week or two after the episodes come out, if you don't post a video between those 2 weeks, it's dead. Like, you don't see any more videos about it. So I was looking back and I'm like, oh my God, did I just make up this problem? Is that really an issue? Will people agree with me? Will they go, what are you talking about? Because I tried looking up examples months after I wrote the script and I couldn't find any. And I was like, oh, but then I had to remind myself, like, I didn't find any because the virality has ended. So when you look up Digital Circus episode 7 now, you just get Digital Circus episode 7. You don't get all those shorts or those other videos, all those Twitter posts about it. But at the time, it was rampant. It was very rampant. Enough that I felt like making a video about it. So here's the beginning of the video. Yep. Spoilers ahead for Digital Circus 1. I'll just quickly go through and read this. I knew the Knives Out opening, I think it originally started with this. And I was writing it down. And then it reminded me of Knives Out. And it made me go, oh my God, that's the same. Or I thought instantly at first, oh my God, it's like how I thought of Knives Out. I need to put that in. That's a good, like, opening, cold open, like, summarizing all my... Because that's the thing in high school as well. They always tell you that, like, your first paragraph should kind of summarize all your points. Except I never liked that because it always felt like that first paragraph was the essay. And I think this is a bit more of a creative, interesting way I'll lead it. It's me being a bit more creative. Leading into that, it's not me going, in this essay, I will say this. It's me going, hey, here's the thesis. Here's what made me think about it. Here's the conclusion I came to. I actually think this movie actually made me want to make this video more, I think. This movie. But yeah, I eventually was like, I have to put it in the video. I can't remember if it was the first thing I put in. I can't remember if it was after I wrote a bunch of other stuff. But I knew it worked as a really good example of A, how I think it can ruin people's perception of art, and B, how I think we should go about changing that. My music has stopped, so I'm going to restart Spagonia Day. Oh, actually, should we do a different Sonic Unleashed track? That was also fun. I very much enjoyed putting the Sonic Unleashed Werehog theme in the video. That was a lot of fun. God, I'm just getting let me just put Spagonia 30 minutes. Not Spagonia. Sonic Unleashed extended. Oh, I could put Gorillas, but that'll get me definitely copyright striked. Let's see. No, not perfect. No, that'll make me cry. Potus Night. No. Shimmy Night. Maybe. Oh, Windmill Isle. Oh my God, yes. Yeah, sure. Why not? Little weird energy, but let's like a little more fast paced. But let's do it. So I'll just read out the spec script, skim through it. Let me tell you, is the audio good? Let's just have a look. Yeah, the audio looks good. Audio looks grand. Looks bloody grand, mate. All right. So, recently I was watching Wake Up Dead Man, Ryan Johnson's most recent installment. A lot of this I think stayed the same. And as that series, halfway through I was stuck. I was trying to put pieces together, but had no idea what things went away. This music does not fit at all, but I'm just gonna keep going. I was making conclusions that had no evidence, and I could tell it was no. I have to change the music. This is like it's too much of a bop, and I love this song too much. I can't. It's just gonna take me out. I'm just gonna start dancing. Ooh, that's a good one. No, too sexy, saxophony. Let me see if I can find. Oh my God! I can't. I have to do the night version. It's too good. I have to do the night version. Way better. That'll do it. Okay. Way more the mood. That's what I'm talking about, baby. I'm trying to figure out the twist and the secret before the movie let me, so I turned my brain off. Not fully, I was still aware of the film and thinking about what I was trying to say, but I stopped trying to compete with it. I stopped trying to find the answer before it was given to me, and simply just let myself go along with the ride and wait to see what the film had in store for me. As a result, I relaxed and let myself enjoy the film. I didn't pause it to brainstorm or talk about the film evidence I could see. I waited till the end where everything was said and done and think my own conclusion. When it took from it, when it touched me the most, when it reminded me of, and how it used its craft to help convey its message and theme. So, the video that I posted has a little extra sentence here, and I was constantly guessing myself about whether I wanted to cut that second sentence off or whether this was a good enough line to end it. A part of me still thinks I should have cut it off, but also I think that last sentence adds a little bit of important context for my point. Also, I got a lot of comments on this video, mainly talking about Knives Out. I got a lot of comments about how, like, audio levels, audio's leveled. You gotta set up a side compressor later on. Yes, I don't know what that is, but I definitely should look into that. My audio, it's insane that I'm gonna be, if you guys don't know, I'm gonna be getting a community radio show soon, which is insane. And it's crazy that I'm getting that because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing at the radio show. I don't know what I'm doing at the audio department at all. I just got this. I just got that. I don't know if I don't even have a dampener on it. I can check the sock on there maybe when my brother does that. You gotta keep a VOD of this up. I've got some ideas for some movie and TV show reads I need to put on paper at some point. Oh yeah, this VOD's staying up, definitely. Even if it gets, I hope the music will be fine. But no matter what, even if like maybe I show a video or an ad and I get like I can't make money off it, I'm still keeping it up. This video is not for money. This video is because I know there are people like me who will be like, oh, I need to see how someone makes what their thought process is. But yeah, like there was so many comments about just this, about people being like, "Whoa, Knives Out rules. Knives Out sucks." Just that. I'm like, wow, okay. And but also people, I got one comment, which I don't want to rag on, but it was someone being like, why are you talking about Knives Out? Why does that matter? And it's like, well, I'm summarizing. This is an essay, not a rant. I'm like showing my point at the beginning to show an example of how it works outside of Digital Circus, because it's not just an issue of Digital Circus, it's an issue of media literacy as a whole. I got someone who's like, yeah, I agree, Knives Out does suck. And I'm like, I didn't say that. What? What are you talking about? When did I say Knives Out sucked? Some people being like, yeah, the reason why you didn't make sense of it is because it's a bad movie. I'm like, we're not talking about Wake Up Dead Man here. Also, I think Wake Up Dead Man's the best Knives Out movie. I think it's a bloody brilliant film. I love it. It's great. I don't know what the hell people are talking about, but this was very important to me, and I'm such a nerd when it comes to stuff like this because I love putting in just little, it's not soliloquies, just little like side tangents at the beginning to like show context. I'm such a big I love watching NerdSync. I used to watch them way more than I do now. But something that I always took from NerdSync's writing that I do a lot is this idea of always providing context so you know where this point is coming from. And I think this is that little bit of context as well of like maybe where I got this idea for a video from. If you're watching the video, like, oh, maybe that's what made him think about making this. But yeah, I love including little bits of context like that. In that regular show, actually great examples are my Superman videos before this. My Superman videos open very similarly to this. Opens with 78 opens with me talking about how much that movie means to me as a kid and how it relates to my dad and my general already relationship I have with it. And the Superman versus the Mole Man, Superman Saves the Mole Man, I can't remember what it's called. Superman and the Mole Man. No, it's that. Superman and the Mole Man. Opens with, originally I was going to do 52 videos. I was going to make this channel a comic book channel where I make 52 videos about all 52 DC films, and the videos bombed like crazy, and also I got burnt out talking about DC that I just scrapped it. And I will return to talking about comic book movies because I have thoughts about Batman 66. My God, do I have thoughts about Batman 66? And I have thoughts about every Batman film. I constantly have thoughts about Batman and Superman. I wish the comic book videos on this channel did better because I love talking about comics. But even that video talks about me talking about the 52 movies that came out before James Gunn's Superman, and how, the first movie is a Superman movie, so it's pretty important to talk about. And also, it ended up being, I think, a very good... So I'm going around about Superman now. But so many of my videos open with just a little thing like this. Even my Does Batman Belong in the DCU video opens similarly, but not with me. It opens with an interview with James Gunn, where he's like... You can see him being a little touch and go about Batman. Which is like this to me. I was like, I think from that clip alone, from the interview, you can tell like, do they really understand what they're getting into? But that is, I always like opening up like that. And then from that, what the previous video helped me understand is writing in chapters or parts is a lot easier than just writing all at once. Because I wrote this all at once, and something about it didn't flow right, and then Lemon told me these are chapters. Like it'll be easier for your brain to write them if you write them in chapters. And I'm like, yeah, you're so right. You're definitely right. So then later down, you know, I separated them into chapters. And from that, also chapters are really good for ad breaks, because I think it's a really comfortable spot to be like, okay, we're moving on to another point. Bang, he's an ad. But yeah, then, okay, I always wanted to open up with that one-liner that's really abrupt. Like, oh, a video about Knives Out. Oh, game theory, instantly. Okay. I was there when game theory first blew up, or first started to blow up, was the original line. I just think that's really funny. There's a few jokes in this. There's a visual gag in this specifically. We're going to watch the video again. I'm going to go through the video to talk about the edit. There are some visual gags in the video where I'm so disappointed no one has brought it up yet in the comment section, because it was so funny to me when I was editing it. In the episode 6 video, I slipped in a secret Goku when I put a circle around something, and there's that meme, you know, where there's a big red circle and then Goku's in the background somewhere else. To be like, this is important, and ignoring Goku. And I just thought like, oh, it'd be so funny if I just slip a little quick Goku. So in my episode 6 video, in the reality steps in, whatever the video is called, I put, like, very quickly, a fade in of Super Saiyan, I think it's Super Saiyan Goku, and then it quickly cuts to something else. And no one brought it up. And I was so disappointed, because I'm like, oh, people are going to pick that instantly. And as I was editing it made me laugh so much. It made me giggle. And no one brought it up, and I was so disappointed. And there's a similar joke like that in this video that when I edited it, I was laughing so hard. And I was showing to people, I'm like, I'm not sure if this is funny enough. And the frustrating thing is when I explained it to them, that's when it was funny. I'm like, that's a sign of a bad joke. That I'm hoping someone will think about it and be like, and then laugh. And maybe someone has, but no one's commented about it yet, which is disappointing to me. But I'll show you the video. I'll show you the joke later. But anyway, this is the beginning of... Okay, so originally, I don't know if I want to get it. This will cost too much time if I just read this all out. I will skim through it and find interesting things for me to talk about. Let's see. I remember the experiments between gaming, Mario Communist channel. That's different as well. Was it? Did I originally say Mario's a communist? I don't know if that's in the final video. We're meant to be taken seriously. This is what it ended with, but that's just a theory. I was just usually a big claim that makes sense, but hey, that doesn't matter. It was all in good fun. And then we made that Sonny was in the guy making a goofy grade or something. Educational videos. The year he became the law. Oh, it says lawbreaker here, and I eventually changed it to lawmaster. I'm pretty sure. He was the person people turned to helping make sense. Scott Cawthon is a messy world building. Yeah, I changed that to fucked writing or fucked world building, because Scott Cawthon. I'll go on a rant for a second about FNAF. Granted, matpat didn't stop making educational silly videos, but the ones that would make the biggest sense. FNAF game. Because okay, this I recorded. This is in the final script, and I edited it out. Because this would also be me calling out content creators, and I didn't want to do that in the video. That didn't feel right. So I re-edited my dialogue to sound more like I'm talking about general theories. So I'll read this point out. And I gotta say, I have a very specific channel I'm thinking about when I'm writing this, and I will not say their name because it's not on. But this is inspired by someone. Because those did well, it caused 2 things to happen. And also, I got rid of this framing as well because I thought 1 and 2 was too similar to me doing this, or the multiple factors of why Digital Circus worked. It just felt too the same kind of system, way too close together. It was a little clunky. So yeah, here we go. 1, there were millions of people who watched those videos over and over and over, usually kids who only just started to engage with media on a more intelligent level, and this was their first introduction to media, listening analysis. That's cool. God, that line is burnt into my brain. A channel that typically didn't take the material that seriously, again, a following that treated the words like scripture. I changed that to gospel. They saw it as a making sense of a secret, uncovering something the creator could hit, and a large amount of those people started to treat a lot of media outside of FNAF the same way. So everything with a big twist, a big secret, something dark was just around the corner, which leads to 2. Because the videos were so popular, this is what I cut out. Because the videos were so popular, there were copycats. There were people trying to capitalize on game theory success, making crazy theory videos that weren't intended to be fun, silly brainstorms, but deadly serious breakdowns that could spell out everything. Something similar like that is in the final video. Some made these videos just to milk money online, others were people who were fans of game theory and wanted to continue what they thought was the same idea that game theory was advertising. But attention aside, they almost always led to the same type of product. Show for game theory, the internet always had crazy theories, Adventure Time, Pulp Fiction, Time Traveler, Cracked. I watched so much Cracked after hours as a kid. I watched an insane amount of Cracked after hours. Which, like, I also watched an insane amount of game theory, but Cracked, I really liked Cracked. Cracked has a lot of issues. It's not aged well. It wasn't exactly as progressive. Well, it could have been worse, but it wasn't. You know, there's some fucked theories, and apparently there's some stuff behind the scenes that isn't very great either. But I think Cracked had a pretty big impact. Cracked was like, felt like classic nerd theories, which was just like fun, weird, stupid ones of like, yeah, like what if Nick Fury and Jules are Pulp Fiction the same guy? Nothing. And I think I talked about this more in the original script than I did in the video. Nothing about like trying to gotcha something. Nothing about trying to predict how something ended. It was just like fun what ifs. What ifs actually are a great way to describe that, like Marvel what ifs. It was just like, oh, wouldn't this be fun or interesting if it's in the same world as this? What if every Cartoon Network show was in the same world? What if every Pixar was in the same world? And it just added something a little bit more fun and silly to a fandom. And some people took it deadly serious, and some of them were incredibly stupid, but a lot of them weren't meant to be like gotchas. Like, they were just like, oh, what if it's this, guys? Like, just a what if. Very familiar with crazy theories, but modern theory culture feels different. Modern theories feel like people are trying to gotcha the media, they're trying to get in finding answers, because it is almost all the videos are irrelevant the second the series is finished, we have all the answers. That was a major point for me as well. No video feels like it's made to last, which is very common with shorts, especially nowadays. Shorts are made for the moment and then forgotten about, which is, I try not to make shorts like that. Especially, that's what my Australian animation history shorts were supposed to be. They were supposed to be shorts that could last the time. That like you could come back to like a video